Hello everyone. So this is the part 3 of chapter 1 resource and development. ठीक है? Now in this particular part we will be discussing about soil. ठीक है? Which is another important resource just like land we had. So till now we have discussed everything from the chapter of resource and development except soil, which we will discuss today. So first of all let's see what soil is actually. ठीक है? तो first of all we had land as a resource. On land we have also soil which supports vegetation and which is one of the most important resource for all kinds of natural vegetation, which also supports wildlife. ठीक है? तो ultimately we can call it as that land supports soil and that soil is necessary for supporting the biodiversity. Now when we talk about soil as a resource, it is one of the most important. Which kind of resource it is? So it is one of the most important natural resource we have on our earth. ठीक है? It is a natural resource, but when we talk about biotic and abiotic component of the earth surface or of ecosystem, so you will put soil under the category of abiotic, not biotic, because soil in itself is not having any life, but it supports life. It supports plants, it supports forests, it supports different tree species which is having the life. So those species which grow on this soil, they are part of biotic components, and the soil in itself is part of abiotic component of ecosystem. ठीक है? तो it is the most important of natural resource. ठीक है? It is also the medium for plant growth, which you all know. It supports different types of living organism on earth, which we can say कि plant is supported by the soil, and when these plants are being supported, it creates forest, large forest, and that supports different living organism and different wildlife. ठीक है? And also it takes millions of years. Whatever soil which you are seeing right now across your region, across your surrounding, these soils have actually been developed from millions of years ago. ठीक है? Because it takes millions of years to develop, just like coal, just like petroleum, which we have as fossil fuel, which is another important natural resources. The soil is also takes time. Soil is also takes time of about millions of years to get developed a form into a form in which it can supports the plants and uh, other natural vegetation for their growth. ठीक है? तो even a few centimeter in length of soil, it takes about millions of years. Now first of all, how it gets developed from different structure to the structure of this minute particles which we called as soil. So first of all we will look into what soil profile is all about. ठीक है? So let's see. So first of all, soil, as you all know, कि it is the uppermost layer of the earth crust which is loose. So this layer which you are seeing here, this layer is the uppermost layer. ठीक है? And this is only where you will find the soil. So this layer is basically your layer of soil. ठीक है? The loose area where we have the actual soil which supports all kinds of plant and natural vegetation's growth. ठीक है? It is broken and it is useful for plants, and it is only known as soil. It is formed mainly due to the process of weathering. So when we say कि how soil is formed, what is the process which we call for the formation of soil, it is termed as weathering. So weathering is a term which is associated with the formation of soil. Don't forget this word, weathering. Weathering is the process by which soil is formed. ठीक है? As a result of weathering, a layer of loose rock material is formed on the land surface and it gets converted into soil. So now you will think what this weathering is all about. Weathering is the word which means tearing off, or just you can also say it in a simple word कि just peeling off. ठीक है? तो tearing off or peeling off is the basic meaning of the term weathering. इसमें basically क्या होता है कि when we have different agents of weather, different agents of climate like wind, water, glacier, and waves, it actually helps out in weathering of these important hard rocks which gets converted into soil. Now this weathering action is being promoted by different agents which is part of weather. That is why this weathering phenomena or weathering term has been associated with the formation of soil. Now when we talk about soil horizon, okay, soil horizon, when we talk about, you will see that this is the topmost layer which is supporting the soil, which is supporting different plants growth. It is O, but it is not the very first layer. The very first layer of soil formation starts from the bottom of this soil profile. This layer is known as, first one is R, which is the very first layer. Now this R is basically the hardest part of this soil structure. This is the hardest of all, and it is the hard bedrock, which is unaltered rock layer, means it is not changed at all. Now just above it we have C layer of soil, which is partly weathered because of the action of groundwater. These are the rock fragments of different sizes which we have. Then we have the B layer. Again, some particles of C layer is now weathered, which forms the particle of B layer. It is the zone of accumulation of fine materials and mineral precipitates like clay, carbonates, iron, gypsum. These are the important minerals which we have under B layer, and it is also part of subsoil. Next is our A layer. It is leached mineral horizon, which is dark in color because of the humus content in it and lots of organic matter which is found in this A layer. That is why it is also known as uh, it is also known for its highest organic content, and that is the reason why it is black in color. It is also under topsoil. This is your subsoil. This is your loose bedrock or loose parent rock, and this is the hardest bedrock or unaltered bedrock, and this is what the common soil or the soil which we actually experience in our day-to-day lives. Okay. Now next is factors which influences the formation of soil. Now we have different kinds of factors which actually influences the formation of soil. Just we discussed key climate is one of the most important factor which creates the agent which is responsible for the weathering of rocks. Now climate decides the rate of weathering. What kind of agents we have, it only decides how fast is the process of the formation of soil. And the type of vegetation which grows on that type of soil is also determined by the climate which is suitable for that particular soil. Like when we talk about alluvial soil, it is very much suitable for the growth of wheat. When you talk about black soil, it is very much suitable for the growth of cotton. So that is why climate only determines what kind of vegetation will be supported by a particular soil. Second is our topography. The land area is also different for a particular soil which is present there. Like Deccan Peninsula is having black soil, but in North India we are having plains. That is why we are having alluvial soil. We are not having any black soil present over here. ठीक है. तो accumulation is also determined by the kind of topography we have. Nature of parent rock, the composition of the soil is also depends, it also depends on the kind of rock we had in terms of our unaltered bedrock, means the hardest rock which we had, which is the R category of the soil profile. It only determines the composition of the soil. So that is why if we will have igneous kind of rock, then it will be converted into black soil kind of thing, because igneous is what, your hard parent rock, and it only converts into black soil which we have in our Deccan Peninsula region. Now vegetation, it determines the amount of organic content, the amount of humus which is present in the soil. Okay. So these are the four important factors which influences the formation of the soil. When we have classification of soil on the basis of color, on the basis of thickness, on the basis of chemical and physical properties of the soil, and on the basis of texture and ages, the classification of soil is on these four bases, and it is been divided into these six categories. Okay. Alluvial, black, red, laterite, arid or desert. Arid soil is also known as desert soil. Sorry. And forest soil is also known as mountain soil. Okay. So don't get confused with the word forest or mountain soil, arid or desert soil, laterite soil. Red soil is also known as red and yellow soil. What is the reason? I will tell you. And one is black and another one is alluvial. Now the first one, Before starting the first one, this is the map of the India, where you can see all different types of soil which we have. Just discussed six different types of soil on the basis of different classifications. So these six soils are just given here. We will look after each and every soil one by one. Okay, but just look into the map that here you can see the mountain soil. This is the alluvial one. This is the arid. This is the black soil. This is your red and yellow soil, and here you will see the minor patches. These are laterite soil. Okay, again these are laterite soil. This is red and yellow. This is mountain parts of Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, now let's discuss one by one. First one is alluvial soil. Okay, you can see the structure over here also. Clay kind of thing. We have sticky soil. Okay, first of all, alluvial soil, you can see the color, texture, etc. of alluvial soil. Now let's see where it is actually present. Now this is the separate map which is not part of your book, but I have taken it separately so that you can just see the alluvial soil region. Okay, this is the region where alluvial soil is present in largest quantity, the northern plains, which is present all along this area of from Punjab Haryana belt to Delhi, then again Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, parts of northern Jharkhand slight a bit, West Bengal, and the region of Assam Valley. Okay, these are part of your alluvial soil, and some parts of this Gujarat and all the area of Kaveri, Krishna, and Godavari basin region in the South India. So these are basically area where alluvial soil is present. Now the reason being, all the sediments which is brought down by the large rivers like Brahmaputra, Ganga, and Indus are being deposited in these areas. That is why we are having largest amount of accumulation of alluvial soil in this region. Okay, and because of Brahmaputra, we have accumulation of alluvial soil in the region of Assam Valley. Okay, now it supports various crops, and this Krishna Godavari delta is another example why the alluvial soil deposition can be found in the eastern Ghat region of this Krishna Godavari and Kaveri basin. Okay, so these are the area where alluvial soil is present, so don't get confused. And also you need to remember the states also. Okay, now this is only for the alluvial soil. Now characteristics: alluvial soil is the most fertile soil, okay, and widespread soil found in India. So when we talk about India, it is the most fertile soil which is found in India, along with the area covered. So the area covered by alluvial soil is also very large. It is formed due to deposition of fine silt called alluvium, which is brought down by the river which comes from the mountain. When from the mountain the river originates, it used to bring lots of sediments from the mountain, and it deposits it on the plain areas. Since it deposits it on the plain areas, these fine sediments which is brought down by the river is termed as alluvial soil. Okay, now it is found in the northern plains, Gujarat regions, Gujarat plains, okay, and the coastal plains. Just now we saw the map in which it is found in the regions of northern plains, Gujarat plains, and the coastal plains. Now it consists of sand also, silt, and clay. Sand is the a little bit coarser particle. Silt is a bit means the particle size is very less as compared to sand, and clay is again the sticky substance, very less particle size. Now it is divided into Khadar and Bhangar. First of all, when the river originates, it first of all it deposits a soil, not soil exactly, it is large boulders and rocks it deposits. It is known as Bhabar. Then we have Tarai region, which is very marshy or muddy kind of feature which we have, or muddy kind of lowland we have, just near the foothills of the mountains. Then after Tarai we have two regions. One is our Khadar and another one is Bhangar. Okay, one is our Khadar and another one is this Bhangar. The basic difference between Khadar and Bhangar is both are alluvial soil only, but the Khadar is the newer alluvium and Bhangar is the older alluvium. The word itself uh, you can remember with the word Bhangar. Bhangar is something पुराना सामान और कूड़े कचरे का सामान जो हम फेंक देते हैं या भंगार वाले को दे देते हैं. This Bhangar is basically that old. You can remember this Bhangar means old, and Khadar is new alluvium. How come new? When flood, you generally you see कि there is each and every year during monsoon period we have flood all along the northern plain region. So this flood actually deposits the newer alluvium soil in the floodplain region of northern India. So that is why those areas which is covered by this new alluvium is termed as khadar, and the rest of the part which is older, which is not covered by this newer alluvium, is known as bhangar. Okay. Now it contains soil nutrients like potassium, phosphoric acid and lime. So it is very much fertile and it is good for growth of sugarcane, rice, wheat and pulses. So these are the important crops which is grown on this kind of soil, and it is again deficient in nitrogen, just like the case which is quite prevalent in India, that in India generally most of the soils they are deficient in nitrogen. So this is the case with the alluvial soil as well. Now, difference between Khadar and Bhangar. Bhangar is the largest part of the northern plain and it is composed of oldest alluvial soil. Okay, it is younger alluvium. They lie above the flood plain. That is why it is not, it doesn't get deposited by this newer alluvium soil, whereas it gets renewed each and every year by the flood waters. Now, the soil of this region is locally known as Kankad, and it is composed of calcareous deposit, means the deposits of calcium. Now this region is very suitable for intensive agricultural activities. This is very fertile and it is nutrient rich because it is having the new kind of soil which is full of nutrients. When we talk about distribution of alluvial soil, अगर हम कहाँ कहाँ पे distribution है, तो just now we saw the map. They occur all along the Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra plains, ठीक है, which is the northern plain, except in few places where the top layers is covered by desert sand of Rajasthan. ठीक है. They are also found in deltas of Mahanadi के delta Godavari and Krishna. Mahanadi delta is found in Odisha, now Godavari in Andhra Pradesh, Krishna again in Andhra Pradesh and parts of Tamil Nadu, Kaveri Tamil Nadu, where they are called deltic alluvium. ठीक है. तो the area where these rivers deposits their sediment in terms of delta, there also we have this alluvial soil present. Some alluvial soil are also found in the valleys of Narmada, Tapi and northern parts of Gujarat, where you can see alluvial soil present in good amount. Now second one is black soil, another important soil which we have. Black soil, the region you can see clearly, areas of Gujarat we have, areas of southern Rajasthan, central Madhya Pradesh, areas of complete Maharashtra, parts of lower Chhattisgarh, then parts of Telangana, parts of Andhra Pradesh, parts of northern Karnataka. So this complete area covers what? This is your black soil. So I'm giving you separate map just in case you don't get confused. So this is our black soil. It is also known as regular soil. Don't forget this name. Black soil is also known as regular soil. Black soil is also known as cotton soil. Regular means cotton. That is why it is known as cotton soil. Best soil for cotton cultivation. Every time you will heard this word, that every time you might have heard, or every time you will get to know this, that cotton is best grown in black soil. Black soil, cotton soil, regular soil, all are same. Most of the Deccan Peninsula is occupied by black soil. Just now you saw this map, ठीक है, उसमें you have seen कि how the central part, especially Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh and Karnataka's region, how they are occupied by this soil. This is mature soil because it is formed very very long ago. High water retaining capacity, so it is also known as self mulching soil because it has high water retaining capacity. That is why it is also known as self mulching soil, or it is also known as self plowing soil. These are some of the important fact you need to remember. Self plowing soil, regular soil, cotton soil, self mulching soil, all are the names given, or all are the names which is associated with one soil, that is black soil. Why it is known as self mulching soil? Because it has the capacity of gaining this fertility, gaining this habit of getting wet very quickly, because when it gets a little of little water, even if it gets, it swells quickly, and when it loses the water, it gets dried up quickly and it develops crack. Since it develops crack, what happens, the cultivation is very much fast in this kind of soil, because the wide cracks are can be easily seen, and the reason of cultivation is just to provide air to the soil by turning the soils around. So since it develops the crack itself, we have very quick amount of you can say the cultivation is very quick, or sometimes cultivation is not necessary at all. Just you need to plow the field, and then you can sow the seeds. So that is why it is known as self mulching soil, and it only require, and it also has this ability to retain soil moisture for very long time. Okay, so these are some of the facts which you need to remember for black soil. Now the nutrients in which it is rich in: iron, lime, calcium, potassium, aluminum and magnesium. Again, just I said about alluvial soil, it is also deficient in nitrogen. Along with nitrogen, it is deficient in phosphorus and organic matter. Color is deep black to light black. This is how you will find black soil. Since it is developed from igneous rock, that is why we are having less amount of organic matter in this kind of soil. Third one is red and yellow soil. Okay, why it is also known as red and yellow soil? So when we talk about red and yellow soil, the reason being red and yellow is something that the soil, when it is dry, it is red in color. When it is dry, it is red in color, and when it is wet, okay, it is yellow in color. So the reason being, when we put water on this soil, the soil is actually in red color, okay, but when we put water on this soil, and when it is in its hydrated form, it is seen as yellow color. That is why this soil is also known as red as well as yellow soil. The area where this soil is present is low rainfall area, basically the low rainfall area in the eastern and southern parts of Deccan Plateau, which we have because of the windward and leeward phenomena. The eastern part of this Western Ghats, which we have, is basically the low rainfall area. And also we have the region of Rajasthan and all, where we have some areas where this soil is present, but most of the Rajasthan is basically covered in with other type of soil that we will discuss later on. So this is also known for a group which is omnibus. It is very much porous and friable structure, means it is crystalline in nature. The particles can be easily seen of this kind of soil, and it is part of crystalline igneous rock only, just like we had this black soil. So this soil basically develops on crystalline igneous rock. ठीक है, मतलब the hardest bedrock or the R layer of soil profile of this soil also, this soil is also what? Igneous rock. Now the area of this soil is what we will see in the map. It is also absence in lime, concord and impure calcium carbonate is what concord is all about. So this concord word is basically small pebbles you will find in the soil. That is basically the impure calcium carbonate which we have on the soil, that is termed as concord. Now it is deficient in lime, phosphate, manganese, nitrogen. So this nitrogen, again I will say कि you will find this nitrogen deficiency in each and every soil. Others are humus. Again, the organic matter is not present in proper quantity. Potassium is also something which this soil is lacking. Color red because of ferric oxide. Yes, why this soil is having red color? Because of iron oxide or because of ferric oxide. Because of presence of lots of iron content in this soil, this is red in color. The lower layer is reddish yellow or yellow. When we talk about the subsoil or the topsoil layer, it is of reddish yellow or yellow color. Texture, it is sandy to clay and loamy. So sandy structure to clay or some fine particles you will find from when we move from sandy to clay structure or loamy structure, you will find particles getting lesser and lesser in size. The kind of crop which we can grow in this type of soil is wheat, cotton, pulses, tobacco, oil seeds, potato, etc. These are some of the important crops which we can cultivate. Now they are found in the regions as you can see in the map. These are the areas. The red region is completely of red and yellow soil only. So you can find this area of southern this Uttar Pradesh, parts of southern Bihar, parts of West Bengal, complete Jharkhand, as I can say, parts of Odisha we have, complete Chhattisgarh. ठीक है, parts of Madhya Pradesh here, again Telangana we have, parts of Andhra Pradesh here. Here we have parts of Maharashtra, Karnataka, region of Andhra again, parts of Kerala as well as Andhra Pradesh. These are the regions where we can see red and yellow soil. Again in northeast also, don't get confused. These are the regions of Arunachal Pradesh. Upper region of Arunachal Pradesh is covered with forest and mountain soil, the green one. Whereas the lower reaches of Arunachal Pradesh, it is covered by red and yellow soil. ठीक है, parts of Assam and all the states straight away from Manipur, Nagaland, ठीक है, sorry, this Manipur, this Nagaland, then we have Manipur, this is Mizoram, and this one is Tripura. Also southern Meghalaya is also covered by this red and yellow soil. So these are the regions where red and yellow soil is found in large amount. Okay, next one is laterite soil. So laterite soil, as you can see the structure, it is basically so all right, these are the patches. As you can see, these are the area where laterite soils are found. So laterite soil is found all along these regions. Now the maximum area where laterite soil is found is all along the Western Ghat region and Northeast region. Now the reason why these are the important or the regions of uh, or the regions where largest amount of laterite soil is present is Western Ghats and northeastern part. Why? The reason being largest amount of rainfall which we receive in our country is in these areas of Western Ghat as well as in the area of Northeast. So since we are receiving maximum amount of rainfall in these regions, that is why maximum amount of laterite soil it is also present in these region. ठीक है, because this soil is found in the area of very high temperature as well as high amount of rainfall. As you can see, the third point, areas of high temperature and high rainfall is the basic condition for the formation of laterite soil. Latin word is later from which this name of the soil is derived, which means brick. So basically why brick? Later is the word means brick, and this soil is also used for developing or making bricks. That is why it is also known as brick soil. Okay? It becomes so soft when wet and so hard when dried. It is one of the characteristics now formed as a result of high leaching. Very high amount of leaching is found in this kind of soil. Lime is silica is again, it is leached away because of very high amount of rainfall. Due to very high temperature where these soils are found, the microorganism they gets destroyed. Microorganism, especially bacteria, which is responsible for converting the dead remains of vegetation or plants matter to convert it into organic matter or humus content, which helps in increasing the humus content of the soil. They just die because of the high temperature. That is why it is also, this soil is also lacks in terms of humus content or organic matter. Now it is rich in iron and aluminium. Now again it is rich in iron and aluminium content, just like red and yellow soil, which was also rich in iron oxide, and this soil is also rich in iron oxide as well as aluminium. It is deficient in nitrogen, potassium and potash or potassium and lime and humus. These are the some of the important nutrients in which this soil is lacking. Color is red color due to iron oxide. Similar is the case with the word red and yellow soil. Red and yellow soil, red color due to iron oxide. This laterite soil is also red in color due to iron oxide in it. Now rice, ragi, sugarcane, cashew nuts are cultivated in the area where laterite soils are found, but with proper implication of fertilizer and manure. Next is our arid soil. So arid soil, the one region only which we have arid soil is all along the region of western Rajasthan. ठीक है, these are the region of western Rajasthan and some part of run of Kutch area, or very मतलब you can say कि northern parts of a very little area from the northern part of Gujarat is also present in terms of arid area or arid kind of soil. ठीक है. So now this desert or arid soil, these are found under arid conditions, ठीक है, and semi-arid conditions. They are deposited mainly by wind activities. So arid condition means completely dry area and semi-arid means these are also dry areas, but as compared to arid areas, they are receiving some amount of rainfall. ठीक है. High salt content, which is one of the important characteristics of desert or arid soil. It is having very high salt content. That is why the soil is saline in nature. Lack of moisture and humus is present in the soil. Conquered, again, calcium carbonate presence is more in the soil, which is impure calcium carbonate basically. That is why the reason is that it restricts the infiltration of water. That is why when water falls in terms of rainfall, what happens, it just passes through, which creates lack of soil moisture present inside this top layer of the soil. That is why the topsoil is generally dried. ठीक है, that is the reason why the groundwater is not recharged suitably, and also it is deficient in nitrogen, and phosphate is normal in its quantity. Texture is sandy, as you all know, and color is red to brown. Now, one of the major region of desert and arid soil is that how the water gets when the water gets evaporated in this kind of soil, what happens, due to capillary action, the plant used to pull up water, whatever water they have under this groundwater aquifers. So when they pull up the water due to capillary action, what happens, it also brings all the nutrients which is present below the top layer of the soil. That is why it creates accumulation of lots of calcium on the top layer of the soil, which creates impure calcium carbonate, and it develops the structure of these conker like thing, which restricts the infiltration of the water. ठीक है. Now next we have is forest soil, which is also known as mountain soil. So don't get confused with this. Area of forest and mountain soil, as you can see, all the area of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh region, as well as the area of Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. These are the regions of mountain soil. Also the region of Sikkim and this northern Arunachal Pradesh. So these are the area of mountain or forest soil. ठीक है. Forest soil. So these are basically found in the areas where we have sufficient amount of rainfall. The soil, it varies in structure and texture because it is also, since it is also termed as mountain soil, so it varies in structure because from the top of the mountain to the bottom of the mountain we are having different kinds of vegetation present because of different kinds of soil we are having, depending on the mountain environment where they are found. Since you know that mountain is basically something which shows us the vertical development of different kind of climatic phenomena or different kind of climatic events we can find on the mountains, because it shows us the vertical climatic structure. That is why different climate, different soil, different vegetation. That is why the texture depends on the kind of height or the kind of elevation it is found on. Now they are loamy and silty on valley sides because of the deposition of those soils by the river, and coarse grains are found generally on higher elevations on upper slopes. ठीक है. So as you move from top of the mountain to the lower valleys, you will find the texture of the soil, it becomes lesser and lesser in size. In the snow bound areas of the Himalayas, they experience denudation, means lots of weathering is taking place in the snowbound areas because of the agent of weathering which is responsible for denudation in these areas are glacier, and they are acidic with low humus content. Since the temperature is very low, which is not suitable for the growth of bacteria which is responsible for developing the humus content in the soil, that is why it lacks in humus content. The soil found in the lower valleys are generally fertile because it is deposited by the river, okay, and the structure is very fine. Now, one of the most important reason again is soil erosion. After lots of soil studying about various kinds of soil, important phenomena comes is about soil erosion. You all know what is soil erosion. ठीक है? Now, it is the removal of topsoil from one place to another by different agents of soil erosion, and they are basically the major agents are what? Running water and wind, which is our natural agency. So natural agency means natural agents like wind and water. It is caused by running water and wind. Another reason, another reason why soil is being eroded is deforestation. When we are not having the trees to hold on those soil, the soil becomes loose and then they are carried away by these running water and wind. Overgrazing is also another reason, and unscientific agricultural practices also creates degradation of soil, or it is responsible for the erosion of the soil. ठीक है? Now we have two types of soil erosion. One is termed as gully erosion and another one is sheet erosion. Let's see what they both are. First one is gully erosion. Now the rainwater when moves down on an uneven land scoops away from the soil and form very deep channel like gullies. When gullies are being formed by soil erosion, this type of erosion is known as gully erosion, and a land which is broken into many small parts by these gullies, they are known as badland. One of the badland we have in our India is Chambal ravines, also known as badland topography. So Chambal in Madhya Pradesh, ठीक है? So a badland is unfit for cultivation and for other economic activities. So let's see how it looks. So this is how this gully erosion looks. You can see this complete area is being eroded by water, and it is basically the land area is being subsided and then it is eroded. This is what gully erosion is all about. Next is sheet erosion. So sheet erosion is basically the large amount of water, it just flows all along the area of the field, okay? It doesn't get inside the top layer of the soil, or it doesn't infiltrate, rather it flows just above the surface of the earth, and it takes away with it all the soil content which is loose on the top layer of the surface. Sometimes water flows as a sheet over large areas down a slope. The water takes away the topsoil. As you can see, this is known as sheet erosion. Now how we can conserve these soil erosion? So these are some of the important measures which we need to take for conserving soil erosion. First one is contour ploughing. In contour ploughing, you can see these contours are basically areas of equal elevation. So these areas of equal elevations are being used for ploughing. By that we can minimize the flow of water, speed of the flow of water, which is responsible for taking away the soil from higher slopes to the bottom of the mountain. All right, so this is how we can control, by making barriers of different kinds of crop which we will grow on different contours. So this will reduce the water level, water speed. Okay. Next is terrace farming. Again, terrace farming is basically on different contours, different elevation. As you can see, different elevation is present, means different contours are taken together for terrace farming. And again, when water is moving from top layer, and under this what happens when water is moving from the top layer to down to the layer which is present at the bottom of the mountain, it reduces the speed of the mountain, it reduces the speed of the water. Again, it reduces the amount of soil content which is carried by the river or carried by the water uh, during rainfall from higher layer to the lower layer, that thereby they are stopping the soil erosion. ठीक है? So terrace can be made for cultivating on the mountain areas so that soil erosion could be reduced, and the soil will be controlled by these crops which will be grown. These crops will basically, they will hold the soil, so this restricts soil erosion. Third one is strip cropping. In this you can see large fields are divided into strips, means some areas are grown with crops. Now this area is left, again this area is grown with the crops, again some area is left, again crop. So this is basically to break up the force of the wind. That is why strip cropping is used, to break up the force of the wind. This method is known as strip cropping. Now how it works: when you will have area with crop and again another field without any crop, then again you will have crop, so it will break the force of the wind which is carrying the soil. So generally when it will break the force of the wind, it will also minimize its capacity or its ability to carry on the soil or carry out the soil from the field to another area. Thereby it will help in reducing the soil erosion by the action of the wind. Again shelter belt. So the first two, contour as well as this terrace, was because of water, and the third one, strip cropping and shelter belt, is because of the wind. Now again in desert areas this kind of method is used, where you will have to develop a shelter belt with the help of planting lines of trees all along the field area, where you will prevent the wind to carry the desert or carry the soil from your field or from other areas towards your field, or from your field to other areas. Because now these trees, a line of trees, they are basically preventing the wind or preventing the speed of the wind to carry out the soil from a particular one area to another. Okay, so these are the basic methods how we can conserve our soil or we can prevent soil erosion. Okay, so thank you so much. This is the end of the chapter. I hope you understood each and everything, and all the best. Bye bye. Thank you so much.